You know that feeling when you check your bank account, and it's like staring into a black hole? The kind of void that makes you hesitate even before buying a coffee, because every dollar feels like it's holding your life together. Most financial gurus will tell you that wealth only starts at six figures, or that you need $100,000 to finally breathe. But here's the thing they're missing. There's a specific number where everything changes, and it's way lower than that. It's not $50,000. It's not $75,000. That magical threshold is $20,000. $20,000 is the invisible line between constantly surviving and starting to actually think about growth, opportunities, and your financial future. And once you cross it, your brain, your habits, and even the way life responds to you start to change in ways that feel almost ridiculous. Hey, I'm Brian, and I spend way too much time thinking about the invisible rules that control our money and our lives. If you want to actually understand how money works, beyond the boring budgeting tips and just save more advice, and start making your money work for you instead of the other way around, hit that subscribe button and stick around, because today's episode is going to completely shift the way you think about your finances. Let me ask you something. Why does $20,000 feel different from $5,000 or $10,000? You might think it's just another arbitrary milestone. But here's the kicker. There's a hidden threshold in your brain that flips a switch when you hit it. Most people never notice it because they're too busy reacting to life, paying bills, or stressing over every little expense. Think of it like trying to push a massive boulder up a hill. At first, every inch takes enormous effort, and you feel like you'll never make progress. Every pebble in the path feels like a mountain. But once you get past a certain point, something almost magical happens. Momentum kicks in. The same push that used to move you 1 inch suddenly carries you a foot. That's what $20,000 does. It's your financial momentum threshold. Most advice out there focuses on the big numbers, 6 figures, a house, a 6-month emergency fund. But they miss the invisible rule. There's a specific point where your money stops controlling you and starts doing the heavy lifting for you. That number, $20,000, is where survival mode ends and growth mode begins. And until you understand this, everything else about wealth can feel like a game you're doomed to lose. Here's where it gets really interesting. The difference between $5,000 in your account and $20,000 isn't just numbers on a screen. It's the way your brain starts to operate. Psychologists call this survival mode. When your money is tight, your brain is wired to focus on immediate threats, bills, rent, groceries. You're constantly scanning for danger, making short-term decisions, and reacting to whatever life throws at you. Growth, opportunity, and strategy don't even enter the equation because your brain is busy keeping you alive. But when you hit that $20,000 threshold, something remarkable happens. Your brain gets space to breathe. You start thinking in terms of possibilities instead of crises. You go from asking, how do I make it to next paycheck? To asking, how can I make this money grow? And this isn't just theory. Research from Vanguard shows that having just $2,000 in emergency savings increases financial well-being by 21%, but pushing it to 3 to 6 months of expenses, roughly $20,000, adds another 13%. That's a massive mental shift. Suddenly, money stops being a stress anchor and starts becoming a tool. Your emotional response to money changes, too. Small emergencies stop feeling like life or death events. Unexpected bills are inconvenient, not catastrophic. You start seeing opportunities where before you only saw risk. And that mental freedom? It compounds faster than any interest rate ever could. Once you understand this, the math starts to make sense. But first, you need to see it in action. If you're new here and just subscribed, comment your name below. I read every comment and shout out new subscribers in my next video. I do appreciate you joining me on this finance journey. Here's the part that will blow your mind. Let's look at the numbers behind this shift. Imagine you're saving $1,000 a month with an 8% annual return. Your first $20,000? That takes about 19 months. Every dollar feels earned. Every month is a grind. But the second $20,000? Only 17 months. Just like that, compound interest starts pulling more weight for you. And the third $20,000? even faster. The same effort produces accelerating results because your money starts working harder almost automatically. Now imagine scaling that. At $400,000, generating another $20,000 takes only 5 months without changing your contributions. That's the power of scale. That's the magic of compounding in action. Most people assume they have to constantly work harder for each milestone. But the truth is, the more you build, the faster your money builds for you. The first $20,000 is like pushing a boulder uphill. Each additional $20,000 starts rolling a little faster. It's not luck, and it's not a secret trick. It's basic mathematics working for you. And it starts to feel almost unfair once you understand the rules. Now, here's something a lot of people get wrong. They see someone with a big account balance and assume they had some special opportunity, a secret investment, or insider knowledge. But here's the truth. It's not magic. It's basic math working at scale. Let me give you an example. Say you start with $1,000 invested at an 8% return. In a year, it grows by about $80. That feels small. Now imagine $20,000 invested at the same rate. That same 8% gives you $1,600 in growth. Suddenly, the numbers start to feel different. The opportunities that were invisible at $1,000 are real at $20,000, just because of scale. So, the secret isn't some exclusive access. It's understanding how compounding works and giving it room to accelerate. Once you realize this, the playing field is no longer stacked against you. Anyone can get to this point. You just need the discipline to reach that $20,000 threshold, and then the math does the heavy lifting for you. But here's the part most people completely miss. Reaching $20,000 isn't just about numbers. It's about who you become in the process. You've rewired your brain without even realizing it. Think about it. You had to build serious discipline. You tracked every dollar, resisted impulse spending, and delayed gratification. That's a skill few people ever develop. And habits like that don't just disappear once the account balance hits a milestone. They stick. You become the type of person who can handle money instead of letting it control you. Before, an unexpected bill would feel like a disaster. After, it's just a minor inconvenience. Before, investing felt risky and complicated. After, you start seeing opportunities, evaluating them calmly, and making strategic decisions. This is what psychologists call identity transformation. You're not just a person who saved $20,000. You're now the kind of person who can save $200,000, invest intelligently, and make decisions with confidence. That's the invisible power behind the milestone. The money is just a reflection of the skills, habits, and mindset you've built along the way. Once you've crossed that $20,000 line, the world starts looking different. Things that used to feel like catastrophes now feel like opportunities, or at least manageable inconveniences. A car repair? Not a disaster, just a cost you can cover. A friend pitches a small business idea? You can actually consider it because you have some capital to test it. That networking conference? Suddenly, attending isn't a financial risk, it's an investment in your future. Your brain begins to see openings where before it only saw walls. You're no longer trapped reacting to every emergency. You're scanning for advantages. And here's the kicker. This doesn't require a bigger paycheck or fancy insider advice. It's simply the perspective that comes from having a financial cushion that works for you, instead of you working for it. In other words, $20,000 doesn't just protect you. It trains you to recognize potential, even in situations most people would ignore or fear. Here's where it gets counterintuitive. Once you reach this threshold, you actually start caring less about small expenses. That daily latte, the brand name versus generic debate, even minor fees. These tiny decisions lose their power over you. Your mental bandwidth frees up for the big stuff, where you live, what you drive, which investments actually move the needle. I know that sounds backwards, but hear me out. A $3 coffee is trivial compared to a $30,000 car that depreciates immediately or a $50,000 investment in your career. Your focus naturally shifts to decisions that actually impact your net worth and long-term financial freedom. That's the paradox. More money lets you ignore the small stuff and concentrate on what really matters. And the effects spill over into your career. $20,000 gives you what I like to call walking away money. You're no longer trapped in a job just because you need every paycheck. You can negotiate, explore options, or even walk away without panic. That confidence becomes a feedback loop. People notice you're calm under pressure, they trust your judgment, and suddenly better projects and opportunities start coming your way. The crazy part? You don't even have to use the money. Just knowing it's there changes how people respond to you and how you respond to life. That's power you can't get from fancy titles or degrees. It comes from financial foundation. But here's where most people mess this up. They hit $20,000, feel that psychological shift, and immediately reward themselves with something that erases months of progress. A brand new car, a luxury vacation, or a house they can't really afford. Don't do this. $20,000 is not a reward, it's a foundation. It's the launch pad for serious wealth, not the finish line. If you treat it like a trophy, you'll sabotage the very freedom it was meant to give you. Protect this milestone, let it grow, and let it work for you. That's how it multiplies. Consider this. The average person spends more on transportation over a lifetime than it would take to reach $20,000 in investments. Cars lose value instantly, yet most of us buy into the shiny, immediate thrill. It's like watching someone burn potential money just to chase temporary satisfaction. Your peers are trapped in patterns, and it's not because they're bad with money. It's because culture teaches spending is freedom. True freedom comes from control, from thinking strategically, from building your foundation first. Here's the beautiful irony. Once you hit $20,000, the way you evaluate purchases changes. You no longer ask, "Can I afford the monthly payment?" You ask, "What is this costing me in opportunity?" That mindset shifts everything, not just cars or vacations, but every major life decision. Intentionality replaces impulse, and you start designing your life instead of reacting to it. $20,000 isn't going to make you rich overnight, but it will fundamentally change how you think, how you act, and how life responds to you. It's the difference between surviving and thriving, reacting and designing. Start building that foundation today. Your future self is already counting on it.